All of you for joining us tonight. I'm going to share my screen and get started. Okay. Great. Okay. I'm really excited to see so many of you interested in this topic beyond single-use recycling, and we'll be exploring the many opportunities available in our community to reduce the waste stream beyond what we can put in the blue bin. We'll take a tour of Holly Hill together and other hubs around town and beyond, focusing on special solutions for these hard to recycle items. We'll save some time at the end for questions and for sharing resources, and I think some of our team is here too to help out with that. But you are welcome to put any questions into or comments into the chat and go along. Okay. First, a little bit about Waste Free Greenwich. We are a grassroots organization that was started by community volunteers in 2019 to initiate the town's food scrap recycling program, and we became a 501c3 in 2023. Our mission, as Deb mentioned, is to engage, educate, and empower the Greenwich community to waste less through the 6 R's. And these 6 R's are our guiding principles to refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, recycle, and rot. Usually there's 3 R's, but we've extended it to 6 to really encompass our zero waste goal. So our mission is in response to the waste management challenges we're experiencing both statewide and locally. This crisis was precipitated by the closure of the Hartford incinerator. That was the largest of the 5 such facilities in the state, and that closed in summer of 2022. And it's been compounded by aging infrastructure and limited disposal capacity in Connecticut and in the broader region. Now, 40% of our waste, about 860,000 tons, is shipped out of state to be burned or buried. Connecticut is no longer self-sufficient, and the costs of waste management are rising and projected to increase exponentially. Our current system of burning and burying trash also has negative impacts on public health and the environment. Incinerators are a major source of air pollution and produce toxic ash that must be buried. Most of the incinerators are sited in environmental justice communities. These are low-income neighborhoods or communities of color, and they disproportionately bear the harmful health effects of this pollution. On the other hand, landfills are the 3rd largest source of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas, accounting for 14% of these emissions in the United States. Greenwich is not immune from this crisis. In 2018, China's national sword policy banned imports of certain solid waste and put strict contamination limits of recyclable materials. And this really had a devastating impact on U.S. markets. Recycling was once a source of revenue for Greenwich, but became a cost. To plug the nearly $1 million budget gap in 2020, town officials floated the idea of pay-as-you-throw as a solution in which residents would purchase specific bags for disposal of trash. The residents would pay for the quantity of trash generated, similar to a utility like water or electric, and there was a financial incentive to reduce waste by recycling, composting, and source reduction. Over 500 towns in New England use a unit-based system like this, and pay-as-you-throw communities in Massachusetts. In these pay-as-you-throw communities in Massachusetts, trash tonnages dropped by 25 to 50%, significantly reducing solid waste disposal costs. However, after much debate, elected officials in Greenwich rejected pay-as-you-throw in favor of tipping fees, where the trash hauler pays the town a fee based on the weight of refuse, and the costs are passed on to the customer. So let's examine the state of Greenwich's waste management system under the tipping fee model. Trash tonnages are increasing, as you can see in bottom left, from about 35,000 tons in fiscal year 2019-2020 to more than 40,000 tons last year. Recycling rates are dropping. Since tipping fees were implemented, recycling volumes decreased by 14%. Our recycling rate was once one of the best in the state, but it's fallen to just 31% from 40% previously. Disposal costs are also rising from just under $3 million in fiscal year 2019-20 to over $3.7 million last year. And just this summer, tipping fees increased from $112 per ton to $119 per ton. So Greenwich is moving in the wrong direction, and things are about to get worse. The incinerator in Peekskill, New York, where Greenwich's trash is trucked and burned, is slated to close in just 5 years. Actually 4 years now, with the new year, 2029, and at which time the incinerator will be the oldest in the nation at 45 years. So the solution to this challenge is zero waste, and this is a strategy to eliminate rather than manage waste. It prioritizes rethinking, redesigning, reduction, and reuse over recycling and compost. And then landfill and incineration are a last resort, as they threaten the environment and public health. So even though this event is about recycling, the highest and best strategies are to avoid waste in the first place by refusing unnecessary items and sharing goods, then to reduce the quantity and toxicity of items that we bring into our lives, and use products again and again and repair them to extend their life. After those top 3 solutions are exhausted, then we should recycle and compost. So just keep this in mind as we go along in this presentation. Okay, recycling is mandated by law in Connecticut for everyone. That's residents, businesses, and public and private entities. There are certain items that are designated recyclables that by state law must be recycled, and you can see that list here. But there are many others that can be recycled into new goods, either through single stream recycling or other special recycling programs. Our main system for recycling here in Greenwich is single stream, and this was adopted in 2011 by the municipality. Recyclables, regardless of material, glass, metal, plastic, and paper, are mixed or commingled in the same container. These items shouldn't be bagged, boxed, or bundled, but remain loose, and they should be empty, rinsed, and clean. So what goes into single stream recycling? This can be challenging and confusing, as occasionally the guidelines do change as technologies and markets advance. But recently, Connecticut codified the list of accepted recyclables. The list is called What's In, What's Out, to make it easier for residents. And in Greenwich, we've kind of folded this universal list into our Waste Wizard search tool, which explains how to properly recycle, reuse, and dispose of hundreds of items and gives local resources for donation and disposal. It's available using this QR code or on the websites of Greenwich Public Works, Waste Free Greenwich, and Greenwich Green and Clean. The Public Works website also provides a list of recyclables and a guide, which you can see here at right, as well as informational inserts that you've received in your tax mailings. So once you've sorted correctly using these tools, what happens to your recycling? It's brought to the Holly Hill Resource Recovery Facility in Western Greenwich. Then it's transferred to the Wind Waste Materials recovery facility, or the MRF, in Stamford, where the material is sorted. You can see excerpts from the Wind Waste YouTube video at Stamford here. On the left, the materials are trucked to the facility, and in the center, there's extensive equipment infrastructure on site. And then the final result is on the right, these bales of separated materials that will be sold as raw materials for new products. The equipment at the MRF ranges from high to low tech, but it's all really specialized to separate certain materials, mainly glass, plastic, metals, and paper. This processing explains why some items are accepted in our single stream recycling system and others are not. There's sophisticated optical scanners that use infrared light to identify and separate cartons and specific plastics. Eddy currents and drum magnets distinguish non-magnetic materials from ferrous metals. Some products are too hazardous or dangerous, like pesticides and propane tanks, for this system. A few do damage the equipment and slow down processing. For example, there's tanglers like plastic bag, hoses, cables, and clothing that get twisted in the disc screens. The machines must be shut down and workers climb onto this equipment to remove the obstructions. So imagine somebody climbing onto the equipment at the bottom left. This happens several times a day at the MRF and is costly and dangerous. This is why these items should not be put in the blue bin and why recyclables shouldn't be bagged. Items like bottle caps and pieces smaller than 2.5 inches actually fall through the holes in the disc screens, and they contaminate the glass that's broken up and falls into a separate collection container. So place those caps on plastic bottles and really try and keep out those smaller items out of the single stream recycling. So if many items like clothing and propane tanks are not accepted in single stream, what can we do with them? Well, fortunately, there's an abundant opportunity to divert them from the waste stream using special recycling programs provided by the town, organizations, and businesses. The main hub for these special recycling programs is Holly Hill, our town transfer station. Many of you are intimately acquainted with the facility, but if you're not, we'll embark on a tour to Holly Hill now to introduce you to the many, many recycling opportunities available. Note that you'll need a $25 permit to enter, which you can purchase on the town's website, and the hours are limited as you see here. The drop sites at Holly Hill are dispersed among the many acres and can be challenging to find, as you'll note on this map. One of our priorities at Waste Free Greenwich is to advocate for the renovation of the facility to increase diversion rates, expand opportunities to include things like a take it or leave it shed and an in-vessel composter on site that other towns do have. We'd also like to improve the layout and enhance safety by separating the commercial and residential areas. A master plan was developed over a decade ago, but it hasn't been pursued or funded. We feel that it's time to prioritize this project, especially in light of the current waste management crisis. So our first stop on the tour to Holly Hill will be the Goodwill Trailer, which is located at the top of the hill to the right of the main entrance. Because of the size of the trailer, the accepted items are limited to smaller items like textiles, household items, toys, sports equipment, but larger goods are accepted at their other locations that are listed here. And you can go online to their website that you see, goodwillconnecticut.org, donate, to get a really full list of people accept. The hill across from the residential trash and recycling drop-off is Doug's Bookshed, an independent volunteer-run organization named for its founder, Doug Fransport. The Bookshed is a true gem. We are really fortunate to have such a resource to donate and receive books, music, and DVDs. Each year, they receive over 200,000 books and distribute about 40,000 to residents. Their partner, Books for Everyone, gives an extraordinary number of books to schools and agencies throughout Fairfield County. If you can't make it to the shed on Friday and Saturday mornings, there are bins to drop off your books that will be resold by Bay State Books. Other options in our community for sharing books are the many little free libraries that you see at top right. And there's also similar book exchanges like at Greenwich Point and other areas in town. And one resource for so-called techno trash like videotapes and CDs is Green Disc. You pay for shipping and they'll recycle the material responsibly. It continues down the hill, stopping just beyond the office trailer across from the way station. Here you'll find two green drop-off bins for clothing, linens, and other textiles. Textiles make up a significant part of our waste stream, about 7%. So many textiles are tossed in the trash, but about 95% of this material can actually be reused or recycled into other projects, even holey socks and stained t-shirts. Greenwich Recycling Advisory Board has partnered with Fairco Green Tree Recycling to divert these textiles to higher and better use and raise funds for recycling education in our community. In fact, these funds pay for the Waste Wizard tool, resources in our public schools, and outreach materials. Over 300,000 pounds have been collected since August 2020 at the drop sites listed here. We are now working on establishing a municipal pickup program to make textile recycling more accessible and even easier. Greenwich also has abundant thrift shops and consignment stores, and there are many charities listed on Waste Wizard for donation. So take a look. Next to the textile bins are two brown containers for paper shreds and flexible plastics. This news flash may disappoint many of you, but this material is not recycled, but trashed. In the case of the shredded paper, the fragments make a mess, they cause contamination, and they affect air quality at the MRF. And they're really low value due to the weak fiber strength. Grab and Greenwich Green and Clean, however, host a paper shredding day in fall where documents are securely shredded on site and recycled. And Staples also offers paper shredding. While flexible plastics like plastic bags and overwrap are collected at Holly Hill too, the material is also not recycled but put in the trash. The bin is offered there to keep these plastics out of the recycling stream, and Public Works has been looking for a recycling partner for the material. A better option is to drop off your flexible plastics at participating grocery and retail stores, which offer collection for recycling into decking, benches, and other products. A variety of flexible plastics from dry cleaning bags and bubble wrap to product overwrap is accepted, but the material must be clean, dry, and free of food residue. Now let's continue down the hill and cross the road to the trash building that's to the left. Park your car and remove your compost bin for food scrap recycling. If you are participating in the municipal program, you are really making a dent in your waste stream, as Deb mentioned. Food scraps make up almost a quarter of your trash bin. Since the program started in 2020, over 500,000 pounds of wasted food have been diverted from incineration to compost. Not only does food scrap recycling have a significant impact on the municipal waste stream, all those resources that are used to get food from farm to fork, like water, energy, and land, are also wasted. So if food waste was a country, it would be the third largest greenhouse gas emitter after China and the US. This is a really simple act that creates a lot of good for our planet. Holly Hill is not the only drop site in town. You can also bring your scraps on Wednesdays to Living Hope Community Church in Old Greenwich from 12 to 2, and during the farmers market season during their hours. And also Round Hill Community Church has a collection from 10 to 12 on Wednesdays. Waste Free Greenwich is collaborating with the town to possibly expand this program to include closures that will be available 24/7, and we're awaiting word on a state grant, so stay tuned. Residents may also purchase a subscription service for curbside pickup of food, curbside compost, and we encourage everyone to backyard compost. And there's a guide on our website. Also adjacent to this building are the big yellow shed for motor oil, antifreeze, and cooking oil, and a trailer for mattresses. Given the hazardous nature, negative health impacts, and potential for pollution, motor oil and antifreeze should never be poured on soil or disposed down the drain or in water sources. Place it in a sturdy container and drop it off at Holly Hill. Public Works has recently established a cooking oil collection for residents as well. Pouring oil down the drain is harmful for aquatic life, and it can really damage your pipes, which is a big expense you don't want to incur. Instead, bring your cooking oil to Holly Hill to be recycled. Mattress recycling is just one of the state's many extended producer responsibility, or EPR, programs. These are mandatory stewardship or take-back programs. They require by law that the manufacturer take responsibility for the post-consumer management of that product and its packaging. In Connecticut, EPR programs include electronics, paint, mattresses, mercury thermostats, gas cylinders, and tires. Connecticut Deep oversees the mattress EPR program, and Greenwich has opted in. We have a partnership with Mattress Recycling Council and Bye Bye Mattress. You can visit Bye Bye Mattress's site to learn more about their recycling program, which is pretty cool. Connecticut was the first state to enact this program for mattresses in 2013 to increase recycling efficiencies and curb illegal dumping. A fee is collected upon purchase of the mattress and the box spring. This pays for transportation and processing. Up to 75% of mattresses can be recycled, which is pretty astounding, including the foam and fabric, which can be used for carpet padding, the cotton fibers for insulation, and the steel springs and wood frames can all be recycled into new products. Across from the trash building is the operations field, which is chock full of recycling opportunities. The blue toters are available to deposit both household single-use batteries and rechargeable batteries, which are mandated recyclable. Automotive lead acid batteries are also required to be recycled by law and are collected on the far side of the operations field. There are other collection sites throughout town as well. Calltorecycle.com is a resource that provides guidelines on handling and safety, as well as a listing of retail collection points to drop off rechargeable, single-use e-bikes and high-energy batteries for recycling. Local stores like Staples, Wireless Zone, and Home Depot accept various types of batteries. Greenwich Bicycles and REI will take certain e-bike batteries, and note that lead acid batteries, because they're a mandatory recyclable, that retailers must accept them, I think up to 3 batteries. Waste Free Greenwich will collect household batteries at our food scrap drop-off on Wednesday mornings as well, and we bring them over to Holly Hill for recycling. Okay, as noted by the Story of Stuff, which is one of my favorite resources, and I highly recommend it, their Story of Electronics. Electronics today are designed for the dump. They're hard to upgrade, they're easy to break, and they're really impractical to repair, and they're expensive to repair. Moore's law predicted that electronic designers could double processor speeds every 18 months, and this is proven correct. Even when we're not buying the latest gadget, we can find ourselves burdened with e-waste that we must dispose of responsibly and safely. E-waste is also a mandated recyclable, and the state has an EPR program. This is not a stewardship organization like with mattresses, but the manufacturers register with the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection and pay approved recyclers to collect, transport, and process covered devices from municipalities. This is highly regulated because of the hazardous heavy metal content of e-waste, including mercury and cadmium and other heavy metals. There are also valuable components like nickel, zinc, silver, and gold that are well worth recovering. On the operations field is a trailer specifically for electronics. These items have a circuit board or a cathode tube. They do not include appliances. So just because it has a cord doesn't mean it's an electronic. It really has to have that circuit board or a cathode tube. The town partners with New Tech Recycling, and this is a list of their accepted e-waste at Wright. So you can use that as a guide. A variety of electronics are also collected at Staples. And on April 5th, Waste Free Greenwich's Rethink Waste Fair will feature an electronics drop-off so you can save up for our event. Some of you may know Josh's Vintage Hi-Fi in Chickahominy, which resells and repairs stereo equipment, and we encourage you to use the Waste Wizard to donate electronics that are in good condition and can be enjoyed by others in our community. Did you know that you can borrow and donate durable medical equipment like wheelchairs, walkers, shower seats, and much more? Well, Wheel It Forward, a volunteer-run is an incredible resource to do just that, and they have a drop location on the operations field at Holly Hill. You can learn much more about how to borrow this equipment or even donate, and all the equipment that they do accept on their website. The operations field is also home to all sorts of special holiday recycling. This year, the pumpkin collection was gangbusters, diverting over 8 tons at Holly Hill and another ton at Waste Free Greenwich's Great Pumpkin Rescue. String light collection is happening now. Keep those lights out of the blue bin. New Tech will responsibly recycle them if they are deposited at Holly Hill. You can also send string lights to Holiday LEDs, and you can receive a coupon for purchase on their site. Until January 31st, the town will accept Christmas trees and wreaths at several locations. Remember to take all the decoration off of them. Those locations are at Holly Hill, Byron Park, Bruce Park, and Greenwich Point. They will be chipped into mulch to be used on town properties, and they'll also offer that mulch for use. Alternatively, you can leave trees on your property to decompose, providing wildlife habitat and enriching soil. A variety of other yard waste that you can see here is accepted for composting at the operations field, but please tell the attendant if you have invasives like bamboo, tree of heaven, Japanese knotwood, as these require special care. Construction and demolition debris like concrete, wood, sheetrock, and more is also collected, as well as scrap metal, which is any material composed 50% or more of metal. Before depositing items in good condition, like bikes or sinks, that can be reused. Please search the Waste Wizard tool for donation locations. There are a whole host of additional materials that should not be put in their trash or single stream recycling due to their hazardous nature. But the town does have special recycling programs for them. These include Freon or CFC containing items. Those are refrigerators, air conditioners, and humidifiers, compact fluorescent bulbs and tubes, propane tanks, and mercury thermostats. Tires can also have a second life as road building and paving material, and they're now part of the Connecticut's EPR program, and they can be dropped off at Holly Hill for a small fee. There is even a refrigerated unit for dead animals at Holly Hill if you find yourself in need of that. While household hazardous waste is not accepted at Holly Hill, Public Works hosts an annual collection day, so save the date, May 4th at Island Beach parking lot. If you can't make it that day, Greenwich has reciprocity with the towns listed here, Westport, Darien, Stamford, Norwalk, and New Canaan. You can learn more on the website, but there is a list of accepted materials as well as the ones that they do not want. Connecticut also has an EPR program for paint that's called Paint Care, and that's in partnership with local stores. Unfortunately, there are no locations right in Greenwich that accept paint, but nearby Sherwin-Williams and Rings End will take 5 gallons of latex and oil-based house paint, stains, and varnishes per visit. A quick note that empty paint cans can be placed in single stream recycling, but if there's still paint in that can, then you can use kitty litter or air dry it. Then the can should be disposed in the trash. Waste Free Greenwich will host its 4th annual Rethink Waste Fair on April 5th at Christ Church Parish Hall. In addition to the exhibits, vendors, and other festivities, the event features an extensive recycling and donation drive, so start collecting your items now. These are some of the items that we collected last year. Over 3,400 pounds of material was saved from incineration just at the event. If you sign up for our newsletter or keep your eye on our website and social media, you can learn what we'll be collecting this spring, which might be slightly here. In addition to Holly Hill, there are many town facilities that host recycling collections. Lions International has boxes for eyeglasses and hearing aids at libraries and Doug's Bookshed. You can take Old Glory to any fire department or town hall to be retired respectfully and honorably. Medications should never be disposed down the toilet or drain, but brought to the collection box at the public safety complex at Bruce Place, or at you can dispose of them at one of the police department's drug take-back days. Cell phones are collected by the 9th District Veterans Club in Glenville to support the Cell Phones for Soldier program, which provides cost-free communication services and emergency funding to active duty military members and veterans. Worthy cause. Next to Holly Hill, the mother hub for special recycling might surprise you. Yes, it's Staples. That was easy. Staples collects a crazy wide range of tech. As you can see, their extensive list here. Customers can rack up rewards for recycling your printer cartridges. They also take rechargeable and single-use batteries and started accepting all sorts of school supplies from backpacks and writing utensils to rulers and glue sticks, which I was so excited about. Their list also includes bags and luggage now, phone and tablet cases, smart watch bands, SodaStream cylinders, and I really hope that more stores will follow their lead. A little note about our Hill. While drink containers are accepted in single stream recycling, Connecticut has a deposit redemption program in place. It's affectionately known as the bottle bill. Starting January 1st of last year, a new state law increased the refundable can and bottle deposit value from 5 cents to 10 cents and expanded the types of containers that are included in the program, including sports drinks, hard cider and seltzer, juice, and kombucha. Residents can take your cans and bottles to several return locations in town, Acme's, King's, and ShopRite. There are many benefits to this program. States with a 10-cent deposit value have 84% less beverage container litter per capita than states without a deposit law. It also creates green jobs, diverting more of this material away from costly waste and recycling systems saves towns money. And it's a great source for organizations to raise funds. There's two special recycling programs that I'm really excited to share with you. These are for makeup and jeans. They're supported by local businesses in Greenwich. Stores like Saks, Sephora, and Ulta have teamed up with Pack Collective to recycle all sorts of beauty packaging. Blue jeans are collected by shops like American Eagle, Anthropologie, Madewell, Rag & Bone, and they partner with Blue Jeans Go Green program to recycle jeans into other products. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the special recycling giant, TerraCycle, which collects a host of hard-to-recycle pre-consumer and post-consumer waste from corporations and individuals for free and for a fee. I could really devote another event to TerraCycle, but I invite you to explore their site to see if their program is a good fit for you. Ridwell is a subscription service that provides you a collection bag for those hard to recycle items, from bread tags and prescription pill bottles to snack wrappers and electronics, and it picks it all up at your door. There's so much more that I'd love to share with you, but I really would like to leave some time for questions and to hear your ideas and resources. But do contact us via email or check out our website for more information and to sign up for our weekly newsletter. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook to learn more tips and for upcoming events. We will also post a PDF of these slides and have the recording link to our website. I know there was a lot of information shared, hard to digest it all in one sitting, but we'll have that up shortly at wastefreegreenwich.org. So we're going to open it up to questions. Can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
There are a few questions in the chat. We have someone asking, there's so many amenity kits from airlines. Do you know any organizations that can use them?
Yes, in fact, we collected these at our Rethink Waste Fair, and we dropped them off at a shelter in Stamford. So if you want, you can either contact us and I'll give you the name. I think it was in Spirica. But if I think Sharon and Britta, if you're here, if you want to shout out, they might remember better than I do.
Okay.
But shelters definitely like that those kind of amenity bags.
Okay. And then somebody had a question about the bottle caps. You were mentioning that they should be on the bottle. They're asking, should bottle caps not be recycled at all?
To keep them, so we've been in touch with Win Waste, and they recommend that you put them on the bottle. That's for the plastic bottle caps on plastic containers, but for metal containers, sorry, for metal caps that are sometimes you find them on glass containers or plastic containers, take them off because they'll be collected separately.
Okay.
And usually they're large and they're usually bigger than 2.5 inches too, so they won't fall through the cracks.
Okay. A comment here, Hudson Valley has a repair cafe at different places, some not too far away in New York. This place is called www.repaircafehv.org. Another question, we need a local garden nursery business to take plastic plant pots, sanitize them, and let people pick them up for reuse.
That would be wonderful.
Yep.
And just going back to the repair cafe, we've had our eye on what the Hudson Valley's been doing, and also Wilton has been getting into the game of repair too. So we're hoping maybe at our Rethink Waste Fair to have some kind of element with repair. We're not sure exactly what that's going to look like yet, but that's something we'd love to incorporate.
Okay. Um, then John says, I may have missed it, but based on what I just heard, you're saying prescription pill bottles are not supposed to be put in single stream recycling. Is that correct?
So we've gotten mixed messages. The universal list from Connecticut says no pill bottles, but we've heard from others that they will take the pill bottles. I think maybe it depends on the size too. If it's, larger than 2.5 inches, then they'll- they would probably be collected and sorted. But less than that, it might not be.
Okay, we have a lot of questions here. So,
Oh, okay.
um, with technology growth, what future changes do you anticipate in the recycling process?
Oh boy, that's
That's a
tough.
hard one.
That is hard. Um, I really honestly cannot answer that. Um, I'm not really up on the technology. We did take a tour of Van Dyke that's in Norwalk. That's where they manufacture the recycling equipment. And it was really, really fascinating. They have like a test equipment there where companies can come in and kind of like take their packaging and send it through the machine and see what actually gets recycled and what doesn't so that they can design better, which was really cool. If you're interested, you might want to reach out and see if you can get a tour of the facility. It's really pretty cool.
Sounds
Um,
great.
yeah, but I don't really have much insight on what technologies are coming down the track. Yeah.
I'd say for the near future, we'll have to just keep recycling.
Yeah, there was though an issue with black plastic that some of you may remember, um, that the state did not it's not part of their universal recycling list, but we were told locally that we could take black plastics. And the reason why initially it was said that we couldn't was because the conveyor belts are black and the black plastic doesn't, it's hard for those optical scanners to really recognize that the black on black. So I think some of the manufacturers have corrected that issue, and now some of the local MRFs can accept black plastics.
Interesting. I did not know that. Can mascara tubes be recycled at Sephora, Saks, etc.?
Yes, yes. Check out Pact. I think we had it's pactcollective.org/guidelines, and they'll give you all the materials that are accepted through that program.
Great. What percentage of town residents use food composting drop-offs?
Ah, so it's a little bit hard to estimate, but from the number of starter kits that we sold and just kind of estimating like how many people use a starter kit and how many people don't at our drop-offs, we think it's between 8 and 10% of households in Greenwich do participate in the program. But we'd really love to increase that.
Let me see. Request for your contact info again. Your website?
Oh, sure. Our website is wastefreegreenwich.org,
Okay.
and you can reach out to us at wastefreegreenwich at Gmail.
And everybody don't forget there's that cool little QR code that takes you to the Waste Wizard. That looks pretty awesome. Very helpful tool that you've got. Let me see. Kitty litter, it's so heavy, so much weight in the incinerators are a better option. Guess
Uh,
that's from
yes,
Johnson.
to drop it off at either Rings End or Sherwin-Williams.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that's
paint store is better than sending it
absolutely.
up.
Yep. The reason why they don't want the paint in the container is because once it's in the truck, if it spills, it will leave a trail of paint all on the roadways, and it's
Mm.
just horrible to try and get that up. So that's really why they don't want filled containers.
Okay. We have another. Do you know any locations for recycling corks from wine bottles? Libraries used to accept them, but no longer. Interesting.
Yes. So there were, I believe, two liquor stores and wine stores in town that did take them, and they had a partnership with a cork recycling program. One is closed, and I think the other one stopped collecting. We are collecting at Living Hope Community Church on Wednesday afternoons, 12 to 2. And we're trying to actually distribute the material locally first. So like if you have planters and it's great fill for the bottom of the planter before you put the soil on. So if anybody would like cork, we have a lot of it for that or for art projects. Otherwise, we are going to send it out. There's two programs that we can use, but it's expensive to send that material. So we prefer to distribute it locally first.
What incentives can we give residents to increase that? Paul, I'm not sure what that is in reference to.
About food composting.
Okay.
Um, a lot of it's education. When residents drop off, we get so many positive comments. Like I've, have half the trash I used to have. My garbage doesn't smell anymore. Like I'm not attracting animals at my trash cans anymore. But I really think that, you know, spreading the word, friend to friend, family to family, like really, really makes a difference. So, word of mouth. We can say as much as, get, send as many flyers and have presentations, but I think, when you're participating in the program and you tell your friends and family how effective it is, how much you love it, that it's easy, that really makes a difference and increases participation. Like we have some participants who buy our starter kits as like host presents and holiday gifts and things like that. So, they're kind of um, trying to convince people that way by giving the compost kit as a gift.
Good idea. And along that, somebody asks, are there any plans for curbside compost pickup in Greenwich?
So curbside compost pickup is very expensive and it's extremely difficult. We have, I think, more than 25 private haulers here in town. Um, they would, if we did a curbside pickup, it would be probably adding another pickup. Okay, so you can imagine what the traffic would be like with one more day of pickup with 25 different haulers. I think it's extremely difficult. The municipalities that have really had success with curbside pickup of food scraps have been those towns that have a town municipal hauling program, or the municipality takes care of the hauling for the town. It's not private hauling.
Right. I would imagine that would get bad for animals too, though, knowing what day to go out for the compost. I would think that would be a really appealing day, and that would be bad. How are your school programming impacting parents, grandparents, and neighbors, etc.?
I hope it's impacting families. I hope that the kids are bringing back, those practices and saying, why aren't we composting at home? We've had really great success in the schools so far, and the public schools. We have 6 elementary schools participating in food scrap recycling program. We've had up to a 75% diversion rate using our basic waste reduction program in addition to food scrap recycling. It's made a tremendous difference in the amount of trash that's being generated in the schools. And the private schools, most of the private schools are also participating in food scrap recycling and have been for several years now. So we really hope that those kids, this is habit now, and they go home and they ask their parents to also compost at home.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Mary, did you have a question? You're unmuted. Maybe no. Maybe no. Okay, one more. Somebody had posted, Henry posted furniture sharehouse.org, White Plains. It's a Goodwill for furniture warehouse. The warehouse is at Westchester Airport. They provide household furniture and items for about 10 to 12 families per week. So check out that website.
Yeah.
Julie, are you aware of them?
Yes, Henry, that's an awesome resource, and thanks for mentioning that. And it's also on our Waste Wizard if you want to take a look.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Does anybody have a question that they'd like to ask that hasn't been covered? We have time for one more question. Okay, I would say we need to go to wastefreegreenwich.org. Sounds like there's a ton of information. I know I've learned a lot. I don't live in Greenwich, but I'm already loving the Waste Wizard. So, Julie, thank you so much for your presentation tonight. This has been really enlightening. I hope everybody really enjoyed it. We had a good group. Julie, anything you want to say before we let everybody go?
No, just thank you everyone for your enthusiasm and support, and keep reducing your waste. And thank you to Cos Cob, Friends of Cos Cob Library too, for hosting us.
Yeah. Thank you,
Brava.
Deb. Thank you,
Brava.
Julie. And it sounds like we're going to do a lot more programs. I'm very excited now. This has got my brain going. So I hope we can do a lot of stuff. Thank you so much. Everybody have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thanks to the Friends of Cos Cob Library for this event.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you for helping us.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.